Cara, hello.
Hi, Annie.
So, welcome everybody. As part of the Midlife Wellness Hub, where you receive a lot of information about what to eat and supplements and movement and all good things about midlife, we also host fabulous people that will inspire you, that will give you some wonderful insights in terms of how you can live a better life and midlife. So I'm really excited because Cara, I feel we have been long friends, but let me tell everyone about how amazing you are. So you're very much, I call you a Renaissance woman because you are a mind body teacher, you've taught yoga, you're certified health and wellness coach and strength and conditioning specialist. You have also worked with elite performance athletes, Fortune 100 companies, mind body performance. Not surprising that you've taught the best in this world. And you're also creator of Sparked, one of the most amazing things that I subscribe to. People, you have to subscribe to it. And these are daily mindset messages that really help everyone in their daily lives to just move forward, question themselves. It absolutely is stunning. Welcome, Cara.
Thank you. Thank you for that intro.
Well, it's wonderful to have you. And one of the reasons, of course, I always love speaking with you, but one of the reasons that I wanted to speak with you is the fact that one of the one of the least talked about topic of midlife and aging is mindset. Really, what I have observed in my practice is that while we focus on our protein and we're going to pick up some strength training and all those things are wonderful, what we have often forgotten is that we are changing and the mindset is forgotten. You being the Renaissance woman that you are, tell me, how has your journey shaped that mindset?
Well, I will tell you, even though I've been studying this and teaching this for a long time, I I will say I fell into the trap, just like the rest of us.
Mm.
And it wasn't until I came out of it, and I'll explain a little bit on the other side, that I realized how many women really we spend our lives building our careers and families, and then menopause hits, or the menopause continuum. So starting anywhere late 30s, mid 40s. For me it was really in my early 50s that I started to feel like I was going underwater, like I was living underwater. And I pushed through as best I could. But there were a few years there where my mindset really shifted, and I felt like, am I done? Like, is
Mm.
this it? Do I have anything left to say? Am I even relevant out there anymore? And it was scary. It was really scary. And when I did finally come out of it, and we can talk about how and what, snapped me out of it, it wasn't an overnight thing, but I realized that so many women are suffering in this way. And our mindset, and if we have some lifelines to hold on to, and lifelines really for women are other women. If we have other women to help us, like, no, come here. I've been there. Come here. Boy, oh boy, I think it could really save a lot of women from being underwater like I was.
So, why do you think? I have some thoughts about the subject, but why do you think that so many of us in midlife feels stuck and uncertain, like our confidence goes and we can quite become, like almost morally depleted?
Yeah. Well, I mean, physiologically, it's physiological at the beginning for so many of us. Like, we don't understand. I just had a call with a friend of mine who's probably just about to turn 50. She's a Iron Man or Iron Woman. She is, I think, maybe, have you done those as well?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So another Iron Woman. But the training and the physical, challenge that you go through. I mean, this woman was a beautiful specimen. And she's like, I can't deal with my changing body. What the heck is happening? So it doesn't matter, if you haven't gotten off the couch in a year, or if you're, participating in the Iron Woman challenges, your body is going to shift. And because what we're understanding now is there are so many brain changes that are happening because of changes in hormones that we just weren't aware of. I really do think, Annie, that the younger generations of women are going to be so much better prepared than our generation. We were just like, I was just like, what is happening to me? I have no idea. I'm 60 now, so this was 10 years ago that I was really underwater thinking, I'm done. So it's physiological for the most part, but if we can stay educated, stay on top of it, speak about it, share about it with our friends, get educated, ask, really demand education from our doctors, and therapists, then I think we can stay ahead of this. And I have a feeling that in years to come, maybe decades to come, menopause is going to be looked at as a great transition and time where we are really stepping into our power as women.
Oh, hallelujah. And we will definitely come to that.
Mm.
It's interesting because I want to build a little bit on the changing brain, because while some people might be like a little bit suspicious of this right now, listening to this, I want to mention that there is evidence now with brain scans from the research from Dr. Moscone, Dr. Lisa
Yes.
Moscone, right, who wrote the XX brain, pardon me. She actually has shown the brain during and after menopause, and literally the brain rewires. But during this transition, right, it is a bit like being at Disney World and being on one of those roller coaster, and you literally have to hang on and go, what is going on? You know you're going to get to the end of this, but you don't know how long it's going to take, right? So I think that it's important for women to know that this is not you going crazy, and there's nothing that, often what I see also in my practice is women feeling like, what am I not doing, right? Like feeling responsible or guilty that, well, maybe it's that glass of wine that I had, right? Like
Yeah.
there's just a lot of this questioning, but the reality is this is literally now witnessed through this incredible, technology that we have. So women, ladies, you're not going crazy, right?
Yeah.
You are going through a tremendous change. And of course it is affecting us.
Well, I just want to add one thing there. So Dr. Christiane Northrup, who is really, she wrote The Wisdom of Menopause years and years ago. She's been on this for a while. She
Mhm.
says that, what is going on in our brains during menopause is like putting in a new hard drive in a computer. I mean, it
Yes,
is that drastic. So
way of
here's the
acknowledging. Mhm.
yeah. So here's the thing, what I share with my clients and, in the work that I do is become aware, write down everything you feel, irritability, rage, you know, depression, anxiety, forgetfulness, all these things. Just make a freaking huge list of it. And because once it's down on paper, it becomes very real, and you can, not that you're going to blame everything on menopause, but at least now you're working with something. So you're not just like I don't know if it makes sense, but like you're not just like a ball of symptoms. It's like they're actually written down, and you can start to educate yourself one by one, not only on the brain changes, but the body changes as well.
Yeah, love that. Love that. And so tell me, what do you think happens? Because we literally need to reframe aging, right? Because
Yes.
aging is a big part of this conversation, right? So, how can women reframe aging in this process of reinvention that you're talking about?
This is our Super Bowl. Funny that Super Bowl, we're in the Super Bowl time, but literally, I mean, this is what I tell women all the time. We are in the Super Bowl of our lives. Like we thought it was having babies, no, this is it. This is the Super Bowl. So what do athletes do? I've worked with a lot of athletes when they're training for a big event, they prepare themselves. So we want to prepare ourselves for what we're either in or going into, like we're training for the Super Bowl, and that is getting educated and understanding who we are, like knowing who we are. One of the great travesties, I think, about our modern day is that we don't have a friendship with ourselves. I didn't have a friendship with myself. I was battling against my body, against my mind, against my beliefs, against my doubts and all those, insecurities that I was carrying around. I was battling against them instead of befriending them and becoming really my own BFF.
Oh,
And
love that.
that is where it's like it's a whole different ball game when it's like, come on, we can do this. You start coaching yourself. You start talking to yourself, with that really friendly, like you would your best friend. Come on, you got this. You can do this. I call myself CB, like when I'm in coaching mode. Come on, CB, you got this, CB. So it's friendly, it's loving, but it's also a little, come on, we're better than this. We can do this. And I don't know, if we haven't been taught to do this.
I think that this is a really good point because one of the observation of practice in my practice is seeing how many women will use the words, I feel like my body has betrayed me,
Yes.
right? And so there is a lot of conversations like that. And I think that if we were to listen to all the things that women tell themselves through their 20s and 30s and 40s, we're seeing that it's not a love story at all.
No, no, not at all.
I think men are way better at that
Mhm.
conversation. Right? Oh, you're good. Yeah, way to go, Doug. Right? Fabulous, Paul. You're awesome. Right. And I envy that because I'm like, this is the kind of cheerleading and the
Yes.
kind of supportive behavior that we need to have towards ourselves. But we all know also, Cara, that aging in women, it is a fraught terrain because there is so much emphasis on youth, right, in our society, right? Youth is the ultimate state, right? Anti-aging messages are quite abundant from everything from food to fitness. Often the emphasis is not on strength and vitality and you feeling good about yourself and your body. It's all about, well, this is what's going to keep you thin, right? This is what's going to keep your face and your skin supple, right? Sometimes it's
Yeah.
absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, do you feel that this aging thing is also part of this difficulty of the menopause transition?
Oh, there's no doubt. There's
Yeah.
no doubt. I mean, here's the thing, and you may know this as already. There are only like five other species, and they're all whales that are known to go through menopause. Most species, the females die after they become, after their reproductive stage. So we don't have a whole lot of precedents. We don't have a whole lot of models out there. The orcas are the best model for us. And in fact, there's been a lot of studies of how these grandmother orcas are caring for their young, they are the ones that care for the young whales to keep them vibrant and vital and to keep the species alive. So we don't have a whole lot, so we have to do it ourselves. Like
Okay.
this is really my message. We have to do this ourselves. We're not going to change the cultural conditioning overnight, but our generation of women, if we first focus on ourselves and say, I am not done yet, and I am not going to live feeling like crap for the rest of my life. I'm going to take it one day at a time, one step at a time, and I'm going to do this for me, not for how I look, not for the likes on Instagram, not for anyone else, but because I want to feel vibrant into my 90s. So there is a fantastic statistic out there. I remember talking about this like 2 or 3 years ago. So in 2025, and we're here now, which is so cool. In 2025, there will be 1 billion women over the age of 45 in the world. A billion women that are on the menopause continuum. So, I mean, we need to be here for each other saying, hey, what do you need? What are you feeling? Oh, I felt that too. I did this. I did that. You should see her. You should watch this, listen to this. This is how we start the groundswell of women, because I do believe that in a few generations, women in their, 50s and 60s are going to be so valuable. But it starts with us.
Yes, I think that's a great, great message. So a lot of what I'm hearing you saying is this is such a great time of taking back our power.
Yes,
Also a great time for what I feel is like reinvention. Right?
totally.
Right? So you being the Renaissance woman that you are, right? I think that you're such a guru at this. Where does one begin for this reinvention?
That's a really good question. And, in my coaching training, we have been trained to help people rely on their strengths to build confidence. Rely on what's working, on what you've done, on what you are capable of doing.
Mm.
Start there. So often I'll ask my clients, like, where have you had the most success in life? Because we've all been successful in some aspect, whether it be playing the piano or your cooking abilities or your leadership prowess or your physical abilities, artistic, we've all got them. And so, and they're not menial. Like we have to recognize that your artistry in the kitchen is not, it's not small. Like that's where your power lies. So we start with where we're already strong and where we are already consistent, where there's already like enthusiasm for what we're doing. Start there.
Yeah.
And when we recognize our strengths, because most of us don't, most women don't.
We're busy thinking about all the things that we're not that good at, or it's like, oh, I'm not good with tech. Ooh, I'm not good with kitchen. Like we're busy
Right,
identify what we're not good at.
that's right. So we focus on our weaknesses and we compare ourselves to others and we compare our weaknesses with other people's strengths. Well,
Yes.
how about we start with our own strengths? Like for me, it's communication, it's writing, it's motivation. Like this has always been my thing. But I have other weaknesses, and when we can flip the switch and start to lean in to what we're doing well and use that momentum, use that energy to start to apply it in small steps. We can't change everything overnight, but small steps to what we're not doing well, then we can start to make some change. But we always have to remember the positive and the success and our strengths to start. Like we have to start there. Otherwise, we'll just exhaust ourselves in our weaknesses.
Yeah, which we do very well.
We do it well.
Right.
That's a strength.
Yes, exactly. Or there's such masters that, oh my God, and the obsession with I should be thinner or I should be this or even crazy things like I should be taller. It's like, like, okay. Is so that's a really great place to start. I love that. One of the things that I wanted to ask you is I also feel years ago somebody had told me if you wonder, maybe what is the next thing and so on. This is the old days when we were not reading iPads at night and so on. He said, look at your night table and look at the magazines. What are the things that you're drawn to? Right. And I remember looking at a stack back then of like runner's world and fitness this and whatever wellness that whatever was popular back then. And I thought, it's been sitting there on my night table
Yeah.
for months or probably years and not realizing, oh my God, this is such a thing that is of interest to me.
Yes. Yes.
So, do you find that there are also other places in our lives that we can look to see where's maybe that next avenue for us?
Yeah, I love that. There's a great exercise that I do. I do this at least once a quarter, and I take clients through it. And I learned it from Stephen Cutler. He's a friend of mine who's a real master in this in flow experience, right?
Mm.
Which is our optimal state experience. And he recommends every once in a while, open up your journal, write the numbers 1 through 25 down, and then go through and write down 25 things you're curious about.
Ooh.
And it could be UFOs. I mean, it could be anything. Like, put it down. I'm really curious about, this type of drum, anything. And then allow yourself 15 minutes, not a lot of time, instead of going on social media, do this instead. 15 minutes to go down some rabbit holes on a curiosity. And you don't have to do all 25, and maybe you just do a few, but that starts to take you and it starts to turn on some light bulbs. We were talking about brain scans. It turns on light bulbs in our brains. It starts to fire things differently. It wakes us up to what we're excited about. And so that's just another thing that we can do to start to build back that enthusiasm for learning, for trying, for failing, for experimenting with. Why not?
So I love that word, experimenting, because I find that sometimes we get a little bit in that fear mode when we think trying some things means, oh my God, I'm going to be married to this thing and I'm going to have to do it forever, right? And it could be as simple as I'm interested in singing in a choir, but that initial research means that I'm going to be committed to this for the next 25 years. So I love the spirit of experimentation, which is all about let's just go and see what perhaps there is here for me,
Yeah.
right? That curiosity. And in a way, we're going full circle to, childhood where curiosity drove our life, right? Oh, this, oh, that, oh, this is interesting, right? Like we are born curious, but it seems that life life shuts down these doors and basically says you got to be making decisions and you got to commit to this and off you go, and we lose a little bit of that spirit of curiosity.
And it's so important. That play is so important. And we have, we have, especially as women, we've got the to-do list and, at the
Oh,
very bottom of the list may be something that, is exciting and enjoyable for us. It's so silly. It should be at the top. So this spirit of experimentation, I have done this my whole life. I mean, and you brought up failure, and I have failed a lot of times, but every single failure has led me to the next thing. And you know what? I've realized, Annie, so I started this, these daily mindset messages called Sparked just in January, beginning of 2025. And, I had sent you some information beforehand and you so graciously gave me some encouraging words. But for me, it was a big experiment. There was something in me that felt like it needed to be said. And what I've learned from it, without a doubt, is that it is so much more uncomfortable to not be doing the thing that, like, my soul keeps telling me to do. It is so much more uncomfortable to sit on the sidelines and
no,
to
yes.
watch the world go by than to actually be in it and fail and failing. And, crickets, no likes, no views, no whatever. It doesn't matter because I feel so much more alive because I'm doing it than I was back in December or before December, before the thought came to do it, just, in not acting. So I want to encourage, and I do, do my best to just encourage people to just be in action because that's where the energy, the juice, the life force comes alive in us. And it's where we see things, we see possibilities, we see solutions everywhere.
So, oh my God, I could talk about this all day. But I'm so into the discomfort, right? That's also been a really big lesson in my life, the discomfort. And if I am a woman listening to this at midlife, going, I know there's got to be something, but I don't even know where to begin. Where where to start, Cara?
I think we talked a little bit about it before. Look to your nightstand. Look to the favorites on your phone. Look to where you find yourself going. I often ask the question, what makes you come alive? What makes you feel alive? Is it
Mm,
being out like today? I went out for a walk. I would live on the coast of Maine. We had 7 inches of snow last night, and my husband and I went out and took an early morning beach walk. Windy, gusty, sun was blue. I felt so like, to me, I feel alive outside,
yeah.
so that's where you want to start. You want to start where you feel alive, where you feel competent, where you feel excited, childlike. Start there.
Mm, I love that. And I would add just a personal experience for me. It's always been about searching the environments where the energy of what I want is there.
Yes. Yes.
Curious people, interested people. This is why I train with a team, even though I train individually, I am part of a team, right? That I would say for anyone listening here is really important. So if you don't have that in your current circles, go seek those. Right? And
100%.
they exist everywhere online as well as in the real world, right? Through communities of interest, whether it's creative, whether it's learning, whatever it might be for you, go search for that energy because that will become force and will inspire you to move and I think that if there's a big conversation wrap up here is that what we're talking about is that midlife can be truly the time of life for women to transform,
Yes.
right? To take all of the room that we want to take. And what an incredible opportunity not to waste.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Cara, you are such an inspiring voice and force yourself. Everyone, please go to where do people can go, Cara? And I'll put it in the show notes, but where do they go to subscribe to Sparked?
Probably the easiest is my website, carabradley.net, and there's links there. It's on Substack. If you're on Substack, it's sparked on Substack. But it's an email. It's just a short email that arrives every morning with a little boost of positivity.
And great questions, great little prongs in there that will just make you go, hmm, what a beautiful way to wake up and be inspired for the day.
Thank you.
Cara, thank you so much for your time, sharing your wisdom, just telling it like it is. And I am just so thrilled for everyone. Thank you so much for listening. Put some questions, put some comments. How has this moved you? How is this making you think? Um, Praise, complaints, we'll take it all. I want to learn from you, and your feedback is essential to us. Thank you so much, and we will see you soon.
You.
Bye for now.